Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm back in C-Class again, and I've got my stop looking tune for the BMW. Really like using this car. I've got quite a good launch here, although somebody's got a really good launch. Steve there getting an amazing launch in the Vega. Just going to look at keeping it nice and tight to the apex here, this first corner. A couple of guys managing to go around the outside there. And now we're going on the short layout, so two tight right hand corners now. It's really difficult to get right. It's quite a bit of contact, quite a few people making contact. It's got a little bit messy. It's always difficult to get through these first couple of corners, and it looks like there's 3 people off there. So I've gained out of that one. I was just in the right place at the right time really for that. So as you saw at the start of the race there, just one of the subscribers asked me to do a little bit of racing, and decided to go with C-Class. Been enjoying C-Class racing at the minute. There's a couple of things that I've been enjoying, C-Class and also Bertha Grand Prix. So I've had a couple of subscribers wanting to do some racing, and these are the two types of races that I've decided to go with. I have started to get quite a lot of positive feedback recently. A lot of people just really getting on board with the channel, and it's starting to pick up a little bit now. So hopefully by June, I've got the open lobby in June that I'm hosting, and yeah, there's quite a few people interested in doing that. I'm still trying to get a few more, maybe go for getting a full lobby. I'm not sure if everybody's completely on board with the idea of doing stock car racing. I guess it don't appeal to everybody. Some people are not into it. I guess it is a little bit, you get a less grip for the type of class that you're doing. You know, some of the cars, the can slide around a little bit more, and you can't carry that same amount of corner speed that you would in normal class lobbies. But what I like about stock car racing is just it's more realistic. You know, it's just it's the same cars that you could drive on the streets. I like that, rather than a lot of the Forza tuning is things that really in the real world just wouldn't be possible. It's like with this car, I've tried to make it as real world realistic as possible. So a lot of the upgrades are just small ones. I did the tiniest amount of tuning on the engine just to bring it up to 500 PI, and I gave it a better compounder tyre, softer compounder tyre, so it's like a track. I made it as like it's kind of like a track day car. So the tyre compound, it's not on slicks, it's not on full slicks. It's just a better tyre compound. And then the thing that I found did the most to improve the car, I've actually got it up to pretty much up to pace now. And the thing that I found, it wasn't the wing, it wasn't the Forza wing that really made a difference, or even the Forza brakes, the race brakes. The thing that made the biggest difference was lowering it, the suspension. So I used race suspension, and I used race anti-roll bars, and I've got 2 tunes. I've got one with upgraded brakes, one without, and there's 2, and then there's one with an upgraded differential and one with just a stock differential. So obviously the one with the upgrades is slightly faster, but the second one's a little bit more realistic. So it depends if I want to go a little bit faster. If a lobby's quick, and I'll use the faster one. If a lobby's not so great, then I can get away with using the more realistic one. But that's just about it really. But yeah, the suspension, the things with the suspension, the diff helped, but I think the suspension were the thing that really, just on corner exits, coming out of a corner, you get so much more speed. You can get so much more traction coming out of corners. But here we go, that's the end of this race. I got the 6th place, not too bad. Pace, like I say, you know, pace is not too bad now. Definitely a lot better than it was before. As you can see there, a couple of seconds off the pace of somebody who's a really quick driver. And the next race we went to was Spa. It's using the same tune again. few cars in close proximity here. Just try to keep it tidy. We managed to get through there nice and cleanly. There's a few guys using like the is it the Renault Clio 2010? You know, I probably won't be able to keep up with those guys if you're using that car. Even if I tuned this car up fully, I'd still struggle to keep up with that car. It's pretty quick in this class. Looks as though one of those guys in the Clio's got the run on me now. I will have a better top end, not running that aero. I'm not sure actually if he is using a rear wing there. A little bit early on the brakes. I can tell just a little bit too early, so I turned in a little bit early. Could have braked later there, but it is difficult getting all your different braking points and different classes and different cars constantly. Group has broken away a little bit now. The first few, they've managed to put a bit of a gap between me. It was nice to try and keep up with cars that got a slightly faster tune than yours. It's a nice challenge to do that. I mean, the group has not completely pulled away. I am still managing to keep up with them a little bit. In fact, I might even be closing even down a little bit even more now. I drifted a bit wide there, and it looks like somebody's gonna try and overtake me soon. They're getting very close according to the proximity arrow, and I've drifted wide and I've let him through there. Yep, definitely gonna go through there. And see if I can come back at him. It's going to be difficult though, although I do have the higher top speed. The only drawback with that is coming through Eau Rouge without the downforce. I'll probably be too far back to get a pass done, although this could be a good opportunity. His car will have better acceleration. It's just a case of whether I can overhaul him with my top end. Definitely getting closer now. It's going to be a little bit too risky going into this corner, this high speed corner, side by side. I don't fancy that. I'm not 100% on the braking point here. I'm going just before that curb on the left hand side there. And it's worked out quite nicely. Take a lot of curb on the right hand side. And I'm really keeping close at this point. He's got the slightly better acceleration out of that corner. But yeah, skipping to the end of the race now. And yeah, not a lot happened in the end, and the results are there. I would say at this track the Eau Rouge corner is quite crucial, having downforce for that corner. I think that's one of the main reasons why I was slightly slower. Anyway, skipping on, this is a little clip that I didn't use in my other video. I just kind of found it. It's always fun racing in the wet in these cars. It's just an extra challenge really. And yeah, it's still quite close at this point. The leader has kind of made a bit of a breakaway, and there's a couple of guys off there and made a bit of a mistake. But then kind of makes me go into a mistake myself because I'll narrow for that corner, penultimate corner. Tricky getting through this chicane. Just got to make sure that you hit that banking okay, and then try and get the power down best you can. It's not easy in these weather conditions, and especially sighting this first corner when we come to it. After you get round the oval banking, sighting that first corner is really difficult in this visibility. I have now lost a bit of ground to the other guys now. I believe somewhere in that pack there is the other subscriber that we're asking to do some races. So I think it's just kind of in there somewhere. I think he was using the Maserati 250F, so quite a decent car, although in these weather conditions the power cars are not so great as it turns out. At the start of the race, the people with the cars with the most highest top speed was pulling away, but then as it started to rain, I missed the first part of the race. I didn't have it running, and the race as it started to rain, got quite interesting. I found that the people that had got into the lead and pulled away at the start of the race, once it started raining, they were really struggling, and the people who had more handling based cars, such as myself, I think this car would be probably classed more as a handling based car. There you go, you see the guy, I think he's driving the Auto Union, and it has a really high top speed, you'll probably see, but as it started to rain, it seems as though it were a lot harder to drive than the Alfa Romeos and Maseratis like what I'm using. So yeah, it's just definitely an interesting call to make if this race comes up. If it's in the dry, then it's definitely a power tune. A car with more top speed is better, but once it started to rain, if it's going to be a wet race, a really bad wet race, not just a light drizzle but some serious rain, then handling cars seem to come good. So luckily for me, the majority of this race was in the wet. And yeah, I think just ahead in the distance there, I think one of these guys, the funny thing is the subscriber that won to race is actually a lap down, but still very fast. Somehow he's ended up a lap down, but it's kind of got mixed in with the race for the lead. Ghosted obviously now, but yeah, somehow ended up a lap down, but still had enough speed to keep up with the leader, so he just kind of mixed in with this race. Just getting that four-wheel drift in there, coming through the oval, balancing the car on the power. Very nice to do these weather conditions. Something that's quite important, as I just make a mistake here, but as I was saying, something that's quite important in these cars especially is slip angle. That's one thing, just where you just got a slight drift, the tiniest drift as you're coming through the corner. Just getting that slip angle right, but yeah, at the end of the race I just made that big mistake, and there we go, lose all in positions that I gained just at the end of the race. Probably why I didn't bring it on the original video, but thanks for watching anyway. Goodbye.